official Flag Day sunrise ceremony here on the beautiful Bell's property on Colby Hill. Flag subordinate to the national flags until such times when it will fly over an independent island of St. Martin. This will come about when all cooperation with the other islands of the Netherlands Antilles has failed, when the domination of the central government is not lessened and the colonial laws are not abolished, and the time in which our island can stand alone, standing on its own economy, deciding its own destiny and future. Ms. Roselle Richardson, who was a shy 16-year-old student attending MPC when she entered a national flag competition held by the government of St. Martin in 1982. It wasn't until 1985 that the flag was officially adopted and Ms. Richardson was awarded for her work. In a brief interview I conducted with Ms. Richardson, she explained that she loved the arts and handicrafts and decided to play with shapes and different concepts when she developed the colors and blueprint for what we know today as the St. Martin flag. With that said, please stand as we salute Ms. Richardson for her symbolic and priceless creation. Thank you. Now kindly help me welcome to the podium the co-host of this event, the Minister of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport, the Honorable Wycliffe Smith.
Today we commemorate the day when our people unanimously agreed that our flag, our red, white and blue, with its coat of arms, would fly as our symbol of recognition. In 1985, 34 years ago, the then Island Council passed a motion to adopt the flag of St. Martin as designed at that time by 17-year-old Rosie Richardson. Having been Rosie's school teacher, I feel even a greater affinity towards the flag. I'd like to say thanks to the Bells family for cooperating once again with the government of St. Martin to pay tribute to a mark of national pride. To the Department of Culture, spearheaded by Ms. Clara Reyes, thank you for planning today's events. Thank you also to all the participants in today's ceremonies and to everyone gathered here this morning to celebrate and commemorate our national flag.
You'll find an island so lovely small, with the nations free, people French and Dutch, no talking English much, as they sing Martin in the sea. Oh, sweet St. Martin's land, so bright, like beach and square of my paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, I love my paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, I love my paradise, nature's beauty very nice. Oh, I love my paradise, nature's beauty.
This year, we have chosen to pay homage to one of our most beautiful national symbols, the St. Martin flag, here at this venue on Colby Hill. The full celebration of the flag will be done as it was in 1985 on St. Martin's Day, November 11th. When one thinks of a country flag, we know that it represents the people of a country and vice versa. The people represent the flag. It is no secret and it is well documented that the people of St. Martin are resilient, and so too is the St. Martin flag. The St. Martin flag was designed, as you've heard, by Ms. Roselle Richardson, presented by Dr. Claude Wathy, approved and established in the Island Council on June 13, 1985. Some 34 years later, it is safe to say that the St. Martin flag has withstood the test of time. Today, the St. Martin flag is forever part of our historical and cultural heritage. For those that had the privilege to be a part of or witness the genesis of our 10-10-10 celebrations, it began with the lowering of the Netherlands Antilles flag and culminated with the hoisting of the St. Martin flag, symbolizing the birth of country St. Martin.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
To get the proper care for the pain and agony this senior citizen was going through for some time now, he cried out for help publicly in an interview he gave to the St. Martin Daily News, which was aired on Tuesday and Wednesday last week. With his permission, we can share with you some of the details of this case so you can evaluate based on this case what should be improved in our healthcare system. What are the facts of this case? Almost 4 months since February 26, 2019, a general surgeon at the St. Martin Medical Center reported an X-ray analysis, and the medical center radiologist detected a degenerative lower lumbar spine disease was reported and further diagnosed abroad by an orthopedic surgeon. A neurologist was advised. 3 months ago, March 15, 2019, the home physician requested SZV for an urgent referral of the patient to see an orthopedic surgeon, a neurologist abroad. March 18, the SZV received from the wife of the senior the medical referral letter of the home physician with a copy of the February finding of the general surgeon and radiologist of the St. Martin Medical Center. SZV Medical Referral Office assistants send the wife back to SSMC to get a referral from the specialist at the St. Martin Medical Center. It took 2 months to get an appointment with the medical center specialist. On May 17th, the senior got the appointment with a new orthopedic surgeon at the St. Martin Medical Center who wrote a referral for a spine orthopedic specialist abroad. 3 days after the appointment on May 20, SZV received the documents from the wife, from the patient, and since then, every time the wife contacted SZV, Medical Referral Department, she has been told that there is no decision yet and that they will call as soon as a decision is taken. Bear in mind, while this good gentleman is in pain, and we can clearly see here a complete disconnection, taking into consideration also his age and also pain and suffering. Last week on June 2nd, the co-coordinators of the Consumers Coalition, myself, I received a complaint of the senior citizen and called us to address the complaint from the senior citizen with the liaison officer of the Senior and Pensioner Association at SZV. On Monday, June 3rd, we went to the SZV with the wife of the senior to inquire about the status of the medical referral of her husband. A very friendly medical referral department assistant informed us that the status of the referral is in the computer, was still pending a decision. A doctor of SZV had sent an email since May 29 to the home physician for more details about the issue, which email was not yet answered by the home physician. The assistant suggested the wife to go to the home of the physician and requested him to answer the email of SZV. Why the home physician was emailed and not the orthopedic surgeon of the SMC? We got an answer because the orthopedic surgeon is not yet in the system or registered with the SZV.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
Who you're for.
Congratulations to St. Martin, and thank you very much to our close partner, the government of St. Martin, and also specifically Minister Johnson. We've had the opportunity to work closely together now for a year. He has given us a tremendous amount of time and energy. And as you know, partnership takes time. True friends communicate. To just give you a little bit of an overview as it relates to the cruise industry, while we've been saying for the past 30 years we're a young industry, we truly are a young industry. We're only going to host 30 million passengers globally this year. And the cruise industry is growing globally. It's all over the world. China, Europe, Alaska. The Caribbean still accounts for a third of our world deployment. But when I say a young industry, compare it to a destination like Orlando that hosted 70 million guests last year. Our 30 million, we've only tapped 2% of the world population. We're growing. And the cruise industry is putting its bucks behind the growth to the tune of 70 vessels over the next 8 years. 240 lower berths. That's a lot of passengers. Looking to the future, where does St. Martin and the cruise industry rank? I don't think any destination has ever been closer to the cruise industry and the cruise lines than St. Martin. I did a little bit of an analysis of a timeline only since I've been here. Of course, a lot of people, as I met one of my friends, he said, "You're still here." Yes, I'm still alive, and I'm blessed to be working for the best industry in the world. Back in the 90s, when St. Martin was just thinking about the growth it needed to be able to really capture the cruise industry, it was Royal Caribbean that invested in a larger tender to be able to give St. Martin that opportunity for growth. Then, with the growing pains, came fights. The Dutch and the French taxi drivers were fighting for territory. Who stepped in and negotiated the peace to be able to showcase that tourists cannot experience that? It was the cruise industry. 95 brought Hurricane Lewis. Who was it that stepped in with the needed relief? Supplies, housing. It was the cruise industry, and also came back very quickly after. In 2001, when St. Martin saw that it was needed to go from a tender port to a port that you were going to be able to berth the ships, it was the cruise industry every step of the way. For at least a year, we were here every week working with our partners to be able to work with the taxi drivers to have them understand that the pie was going to get bigger. You were going to go from less than 500,000 cruise passengers to over 2 million cruise passengers. We needed to move people. It was in the taxi drivers' best interest to embrace the water taxis. It was the cruise industry that also looked at every aspect of the regulations that the port needed to put into place, looked at every movement of the passengers, from not only the water tours, for the regular tours, for independence, to make sure that you were taking your place as a world-class destination. In 2009, when the second phase of your port project went into phase, it was Royal and Carnival that put the needed investment into place to be able to embrace St. Martin, addressing the additional needs and growth. We bled with you in 2017 when Irma hit. We knew that we had to step up as your partner. When we say we're partners, we mean we're family. It was the cruise industry that took ships out of service to be able to address the needs of evacuating people that wanted to get off island, to bring the needed supplies, to be able to provide housing. It was the cruise industry that was your partner.
did I start writing it? The book was essentially born as a development of one of the chapters of my PhD thesis several years ago. And it has evolved into a critical essay on Lizana Sekou, a leading poet in San Martin and in the Caribbean. In this book, I take a bird's eye view on Sekou's 40 years of poetic production, political commitment and engagement with the issues of colonialism and post-colonialism, of historical injustices, and how to improve the world to make it a better place for everyone to live in peace, through his trinity of love, labor, liberation. These are all very broad spectrum topics, but since he decided to leave the US and come back to his island, Sekou has focused on the political independence of Saint Martin from the remnants of colonial power and dominance that are still present today. Both with poetic inventiveness in his chirographic experimentation, as Tabish Kair said, with a word on a page, by employing different languages in his poems, creating a new system of punctuation, inventing neologisms, trying to break down barriers, such as when he writes a poem in Braille, and being constantly inspired by the great elements of Caribbean literature like Brathwaite, Walcott, Lemming, Guillen, by American poets like Amiri Baraka, or by revolutionary political figures from all over the world. Sekou tackles the issue of Saint Martin's independence by looking at one of the greatest symbols of its history, the Great Salt Pond. Many years ago, I realized how poignant the symbol of salt was and is in his poetry. So I started reading his works by focusing on this powerful symbol and metaphor. And by analyzing all the recurrences of this theme, when I also compared it to its opposite, sugar, which is another colonial product, dense with poetic and historical meanings. I tend to avoid classification, even if it is inevitable to talk about post-colonialism, post-structuralism, and semiotics, if they apply. But for the sake of studying and understanding, we need to categorize messages, make reference to whomever wrote something meaningful before us, and be inspired by them. The book has an introduction on the poet and his island, written as I-land, a separate writing activity. Of course, this means the island of Saint Martin, but also the land of the self, as an exploration of himself as a poet, of his identity, and the identity of the people he recognizes himself with, mainly Africans who traveled the Middle Passage and survived by carrying along the genetic traits that we can recognize, for instance, in the child of Nana Mandisa and Brotherhood of Spurs, and with the maroon indigenous spirit of the slaves who escaped the tortures of slavery and of the plantation and plantocratic system, but also with the Saint Martiners of today, who in Sekou's opinion are still facing a challenge of liberation from some form of slavery. This indeed is a message to every human being. After this, I analyzed the powerful symbol of the woman in his poetic production, and how many critics recognized a sort of equivalence between the woman and the island. A poetic example above all, the Helen of the West Indies in Walcott's Homerics, where the bard of Santa Lucia created a sort of epic of the Caribbean. The reviewer Christopher Wink also recognized Sekou's nativité, natividad, as epic in scope. I'd like to read a passage from my book. Brathwaite spoke of a submarine unity among the islands, referring to a cultural set of musical and historical rhythms that accompanied those ancestors who were forced to cross the Middle Passage and reach the Caribbean, bound in chains on board slave ships. The musicality is found today in all Caribbean poetry, whether within circular, strong rhythms in Brathwaite's poetry, in the beauty and mystery of the St. Lucian landscape in Walcott, or bubbling out of the mud of St. Martin's Great Salt Pond and other marshes in Cebu. It is as if those rhythms, traveling with the enslaved people, crossed the ocean underwater and continue to re-emerge out of the waters of the islands through cultural expressions such as writing, music, song, art, carnival, or theater and dance.